Hello guys, welcome back to Competitive Programming Fundamentals. Today's lessons is gonna be about introduction to basic data structures, which are commonly used in CP problems and contests. So let's begin. So today we are gonna go through 6 basic data structures, which are arrays, dynamic arrays, strings, pairs, C++ tuples, and we also learn about some operations on these data structures. Okay, first we go through arrays. So we already know that array is the simplest data structures that can be implemented in C++ or any other programming languages. But in the STL library, there exists an array class. So for example here, an array of 25 integers can be initialized by using the following code. So we just write array, and we have two key variables here. The first one is gonna be the data type, and the second one is gonna be the size of your array, and then you just name your array. So below, to access the element at any indexes, for example like the 10th index, we can use we can write like this. Okay, so in C++, initialized array initialized locally using either the default syntax or the array class are initialized to random numbers, because C++ doesn't have built-in memory management. Okay, so the question is, how can we initialize an array to 0? We have several options. The first one is the most easy one. The direct way to initialize an array to 0 is to use the for loop or a nested for loops. The second one, you can also declare the array globally, and you can declare the array with an empty initializer list, for example like this one. A more advanced way is to use built-in functions such as fill n and fill functions in the std library. They can all initialize your array to 0. Okay, next we are going to dynamic arrays, or also known as vector in C++. So it supports all the functions that a normal array does, and can resize itself to accommodate more elements. So in dynamic array, we can also add or delete elements at the end in O1 time complexity. So here is the example of how creating a dynamic array and adds the number 1 through 10 to it. So this is the basic template of C++ code, and I'm gonna initialize array and then dynamic array, and then we use the for loop to add all the number from 1 to 10 into our vector. So variable length arrays are not part of the C++ standard. So we recommend that you use a vector for this purpose instead. So in an array-based contest problems, we will use 1, 2, or 3-dimensional static arrays much of the time. But you can also use dynamic arrays of dynamic arrays, like they are nested together, like vector, vector, or you can use static arrays of dynamic arrays. Here, like here, we use array, and inside we use a vector array, a vector. So, and we can either use dynamic arrays or static arrays. We initialize vector first, and then the array class, and so on. So here is how you can initialize a dynamic array with the size of n. These are a few operations that you need to know about dynamic array. So we have iterating, inserting, and erasing. So basically here is the two way to access all of the elements in a vector V, and below is some operations. We know pushback is to add a new number to the end of a dynamic array. We erase we use erase with the index inside to remove element at index x, and but this remove method is O(n) time complexity, so we need to avoid using it much, because it's gonna make your code more complex, and also make you fail to finish your problem and may get the error time limit exceed. Okay. And we can also erase a segment of a list, as long as you can access the beginning index and the end index. Like here, we can erase the first 3 elements, because we can access the first element and the last, the first index and the last index. Okay. So strings. Basically, strings is like we can use some operations of array, dynamic array into string. So we can erase, we can push back, we can yeah, and so on. But there are two ways of initialized string that you need to know. So the first one and the second one, the difference here is to use the get line to initialize, to input a string s into our code. So the first way is used to input individual strings. So our string must not contain backspace, but if we use getLine, our string can include backspace into the process of input. And the next one is the tuple and pair. So pair is it's like an array, but we can store two values at the same time. So the syntax is here, and make pair if you want to include two numbers into your pair. So to access the first and second values respectively, we use the name of the pair dot first and the name of the pair dot second. And in C++, we can also use tuple. It's like pair, but can store three different values at the same time. And relatively, we have make tuple. But to access a value from a tuple is different from accessing a pair value. So here we use get, as you can see. So that is the end of today's lesson. I hope you enjoy it, and if you find this video useful, you can leave a like and also subscribe to my channel to receive notifications of my newest videos. And I also have to tell you my intentions in the future. I want to do some solutions to problems from different sources, like CSES problem set from Codeforces and other online judges and contests. So you can look forward to that content in the future. Okay, bye bye everyone.